Hello there App Spy viewers, my name is Peter and I've got a hands-on video for you. This time it's with CivCrafter. CivCrafter is from Aquatic and it is a clicker. So as with most clickers, you are tapping on the screen lots and lots and lots to see numbers go up. You'll see that we have three different types of resource: food, wood and stone, and just tapping on them gives me +1 of those. At the top you'll see all of the numbers for how much of food, wood, stone that I've got. And you'll also see above that little words there: found skin while foraging, and then you can see underneath skins 282. And then skins, there's leather, there's ore, there's metal, there's herbs and there's piety. So you'll also notice that there's a +1% next to all of those and a 2.6 a second next to food, for example. 2.6 a second is how much food my suburb of AppSpy is bringing in automatically, because my villagers, which I'll tap on the bottom here, you can see my population here. I've got 172 farmers, I've got 37 loggers, and I've got 38 miners. Now, there are a lot of farmers, but ultimately there are a lot of people to support, so the amount of food that's being produced isn't that much, because I've got to keep everybody fed, effectively. If I don't keep them fed, they die and they'll go into the corpses number. So you can see just underneath piety, you can see corpses 0 at the moment. Mood, content, my people are happy. Sick, 0, graves, 187. So the number of graves that I have basically means that I don't have corpses littering the place. I also found 8 cats. I have no idea what the cats do. But back to my population, I can add more people to my population now by hitting that +1 button. That uses up 22 of my food. And at the top left hand side where the food is, you'll see that every time I add a person, you'll see that it goes down 0.5 seconds. 0.5 food a second now is being produced, unless of course I add them to my farming, in which case I just need to press the +1 button here and you can see it goes up to 2.1. Same with loggers and miners and all that sort of thing. I've got unemployed 1, so I found 2 people, and I've only got 1 of them that are unemployed. So I can go over to my specialists. I've got tanners, blacksmith, healers, clerics. So the blacksmiths, for example, convert ore, which is derived when you find it by just getting stone. That's derived into metal. Metal is useful for different things. Ore is useful for different things. You need a little bit of both to be self-sufficient. So how do I get more people? Well, that's easy. I build more tents, huts and houses if I want, so I can just build a little house there. That cost me 30 wood and 70 stone. Then there's stock, so I have to have sheds and basins and so forth to actually ensure that I don't ever reach my limit when I'm gathering stuff. Then there's special, so allows for a tanner, allows for a healer, allows for a blacksmith, allows for a cleric. You know, these are tanneries, smithies, apothecaries and temples, so I can make sure that I have plenty of those so that I can actually have those facilities and I can convert ore into metal. And then there's war. We can have barracks, so I've got 1 barracks and it allows for 10 soldiers. So let me just go back to our population. So where am I? Here we are. So this is, I've tapped the sword. This is my war. Well, this is my sort of war chest, I suppose. I can have soldiers. I can add to my soldiers. I've got 1 unemployed, so I'm going to add to my soldiers list. So now I've got 2 soldiers defending me. I can also have archers. I can also have knights, dragons. And then at the bottom here, Thorpe, Hamlet and Village. These are the types of battles that I can go on. So I can go and attack a Thorpe, which is really, really low end, or I can attack something a little bit more challenging, and obviously the rewards will be as such. Now, if I tap on that little lightning, this shows you extra stuff that I can do, right? So if I go ahead and get extraction, which is the 3rd on the list, miners collect more ore. It's going to cost me 40 metal, but when I do it, it's going to, you know, after 3.5 hours of real time, you know, I'm going to be able to extract more ore from the stone that I get, and that's obviously very useful because the more ore I have, the more metal I can have, and also, you know, the more items that I can create, and the more I can progress my civilization. I'm currently in a clan. It is the Pocket Gamer clan. Now I will say that the game is not out just yet. CivCrafter is not out just yet, but it will be out relatively soon. It's out on the 2nd of April, and definitely join my clan, because in conquest mode we can see that there are different clans that we need to take on. So for example, at the top there, arch nemesis at Touch Arcade, they've got 2,728. So if we can beat them, fantastic. There's also these different clans as well. You can create your own clans for a certain amount of currencies and so on. And then there's basically this sort of online competition is built up into conquest and trophy mode, and they're kind of handled differently. You basically just attack people and so forth. So then there's also purchases. Obviously, there are purchases that you can make. Gold is just a currency to speed things up and also to buy more resources. So if I wanted to, I could spend £1.49 and get plus 200 gold. Every once in a while, a trader will come along and offer you a special deal. You don't have to take them up on it. And then you've just, on the right-hand side, you've just got your options and so forth. A big part of the game is tapping away on the screen like any clicker. But once you get, I would say, half an hour, 45 minutes in, if you're smart and if you're good at managing resources, then your village really starts to look after itself, and you can focus on the big things, which is effectively managing your people and making sure that none of them go hungry, but also that you're getting as many different types of resources and so forth, and in as efficient a way as possible. So that then is CivCrafter. It's coming from Nequatic, and I rather like it. I think it's a bit more than your typical clicker. It's got a bit more to it than just simply clicking on the screen and hoping that you click enough to move on. Like it's definitely more than that. It's got a bit of a sort of strategy element to it, a little bit of a sort of RPG element to it, and a little bit of a strategy management element to it, i.e. a Clash of Clans, something like that. It's got a little bit of that to it as well. So there we are, CivCrafter. Let me know if you're going to grab this one in the comments. This is Peter with AppSpy.com. We review, you decide.